And welcome to any Real Madrid fans out there listening worldwide. This is a bonus mini pod of the Real Madrid versus Levante post game show. I guess post game show. I don't know. It's a mini pod. We didn't get to it on this week's Tres Ways One Goal podcast with me and Danny this week. We were recording while the Madrid game was going on, so after I edited the pod, which is out now on iTunes, Spotify, and any major podcast platforms, I watched the Madrid game and looked at the highlights, took some notes, and here we are now. And I'm going to talk about what went throughout this game, what I thought of it initially, and just the outcome in general, and what to look out for next week as we have our Dos El Clásicos in 1 week. All right, so let's get started. All right, so the lineup I thought was not a puzzling one, as Santi Solari likes to set out a strong lineup. I don't think he's ever put out a weaker sided lineup except for one time, and that one time cost them a game. I think it was last week and the week before that. So he wasn't really keen on any rotation this week. Obviously, Nacho filled in for the suspended Ramos this game. So there was that. We had a return of Rafael Varane from, I think, suspension of his red card. So yeah, same old strong lineup he usually goes with. So now let's go into the game. Sorry. Okay, and I want to preface this. If you happen to hear me cough, I am just getting over a cold. Hopefully that will be done by tomorrow, and I'll be fine. If not, you might hear me pop a Halls or drink some water because my throat is just killing me sometimes. All right. Let's get started. So initially, Real Madrid were very, very dangerous. And the first one that kind of took my eye was the one when Carvajal crossed it over to Modric, and then Modric crossed it in either Vasquez or Vinicius, who both had opportunities to score in the box. That was like early on in the 9th minute, and I thought, all right, we got our groove going. Let's take care of business. Let's put like maybe 2 or 3 goals past Levante, and call it a night. Take out some of the bigger important players like Vinicius, maybe Modric, and maybe somebody else, and call this a night. And as we go into midweek against Barcelona, but I mean, I guess the first 20 minutes were really just us kind of Madrid dominating for the most part. Again, in the 12th minute, he had Vinicius surrounded by 4 or 5 Levante players. It was kind of similar to that one meme from that one Asian cartoon anime. Sorry, should have said anime. But yeah, and he didn't have the passing, or didn't have the instinct to pass it right away to Lucas Vasquez, and it may have cost us a bit. It may have cost Madrid there. And then, 30, 40 seconds later, we had another header from Lucas Vasquez from Reguilón, who crossed it over to it. And it was just a bit off target. And Vinicius couldn't quite be there in the right spot to capitalize on there. And again, but after that, the tables kind of turned around. And Levante was more on the attacking side than Real Madrid, especially in the 19th minute when they had that long pass from midfield. I forgot which of the Levante midfielders crossed it in, but there was a cry for penalty from Morales as he was defended by 2 Madrid players. And there definitely was contact, but I'm not sure if the contact was inclined for a penalty to happen, but there was contact. So I do understand the cries from any Levante fans out there. But early on, our attacking was there, but it was just a bit sloppy. Nothing was kind of timed, or it wasn't routinely based. It just wasn't clicking on all cylinders. Just there, but a little sloppy. But after those initial 20 minutes or 19 minutes, it changed. Like I said, Levante were more on the attacking side, and they created for the next 5 or 10 minutes just a lot of shots on us. One was in the 22nd minute. After that, it was very unlucky for them to not come away with a goal. From the bounce back, I think it bounced off Morales, and he just wasn't in the right place to just tap it in. Another instance that came to me was in the 29th minute when they also had another great shot from another Levante striker near the goal from Robert Pierre. I really don't know how to pronounce his name. Is he French? Is he Spanish? I don't know. So there's that. And then after that, I think we had another shot from another combo play from Vinicius and Bale. Not Bale, Vinicius and Benzema in the 30th minute. That kind of put us back more on the attacking track. But again, we couldn't sit back and say that Levante were still attacking Madrid. So we had that, and then in 38th minute, I mean, I think this was probably the most most opportunistic or no, this was probably the biggest chance we had all in the first half, when Vinicius just kind of blew past a couple of the Levante defenders, and it was just him and the goalkeeper, but he just happened to fumble it, and it just landed into the hands of Aitor Gonzalez. I think that's the goalkeeper's name, and it just went for another goal kick. I'm not going to say this is all entirely Vinicius' fault. Maybe like 90%, maybe actually more 80%. But it was a wet pitch, so maybe that had something to do with it. Maybe the ball slipped from his boot, or just like the field itself, the pitch was just kind of what got in the way. So I'm not going to say it's entirely his fault. And then a couple of minutes later, this is when we get into the penalty call, or the VAR. I mean, Modric crossed it into the box, or tried to cross it in the box, and then I forgot the defender for Levante, but it was a clear use of the hand. You cannot say, even if you're the stringent Barcelona fan, you cannot say that was not a penalty. He clearly lifted his hands to block the cross, and not just in like, oh, it happened to get in that way. He clearly got in the way, and he clearly put his hands up as if he were blocking a shot of the NBA, and because of that, it was a penalty, and it was rightly called from the VAR officials and the officials in Spain itself. So Benzema comes up and just finishes it strong, perfectly confident as usual. And that would have been a goal for Ramos, but he was suspended. But again, easy goal for Benzema. Up 1-0. We're good. However, Levante would not accept defeat, and they would not accept that goal and go into the half just down 1-0. I think like 15 seconds later, they came back striking right away, and they nearly had another shot on goal. And no, they did have a shot on goal. They nearly had a shot go into goal, is what I tried to say, and it hit off the bar from Roger Martinez's shot. Really, like, what is it, millimeters, inches away from like hitting, going to the back of the neck. And I remember watching the game, and I heard a clink. I could hear the clink of the bar being hit. That's how close, that's how powerful that shot was. Yeah, and after that, it was halftime. So first half, I thought we played a subpar game. Madrid, I didn't think I didn't think we deserved to be up 1-0. That, I mean, the penalty is the penalty, so that was rightly called. But I mean, other than that, I thought Levante had a lot of great opportunities for them to attack us, but they couldn't quite capitalize, and we were lucky enough to get the penalty called on us. We had one great chance from the Vinicius, but the whole field and everything kind of got in the way. All right, so going in the second half, in my opinion, was like, I already knew the results, but I was just thinking what Madrid could do is just kind of settle down, maybe sub in a couple of midfield players, control the tempo, dominate possession, and just maybe hit Levante on the counterattacks. Well, that didn't happen at all, as like Levante like struck back within like less than a minute. Madrid again. Gotta stop. Let me just there, whatever. And again, it was another shot, I think, from Roger Martinez, and they nearly scored again off a really quick counterattack to start off the first half. A couple of minutes later, I think it was off a corner kick. We had a cluster of all the Madrid players. And Vinicius also had a shot to get into the goal, but it never found anybody. And again, it was, alas, kicked out of any dangerous situation. So we have that. All right. So in the 51st minute, we got a really another big goof up from Varane as he nearly passed it back to one of the Levante strikers, and could have scored a goal from there. But luckily, what's his face? Courtois was there to stop anything from happening. Again. So in the 55th minute, we had the corner kick from Kroos, and then we had a nice header from Benzema, who could have, at that time, made a 2-0 and iced the game away. I believe after that, Levante would have sat back and it would have been a good game. 2-0, we would have walked away. We would have known it was a sloppy game, but nonetheless, 3 points was 3 points. But no, it didn't go in. So Levante had another chance to fight. And then a couple of minutes later, Vinicius also had another shot that was pretty close on target. And after really that, like the next like 10 or like between that like 50 to the 60th minute stretch of those 10 minutes, really, I thought Vinicius was really the only offensive spark we had going forward. As any time Levante would kind of come and counterattack or hit us on the counterattack, really, Vinicius was there to kind of just stifle anything up and kind of keep them at bay, just like keep them true, to keep them honest and say that, hey, okay, Madrid still has the opportunity, still has the talent to go up and attack us. But nonetheless, after that, we got hit on the counterattack, and it was a Levante goal with an assist from Morales to Roger Martin. I think that's his name. Yeah, Martin. And it was a really good and clean goal. I mean, good cross, and then that finish was really good. I mean, it was more of a diving shot with, I think, his left foot, and it was way past the outstretched Courtois, who really couldn't do anything about that shot. But nonetheless, 1-1. I mean, it was deserved, you know. They were a more promising and more attacking team that posed more of a threat going forward, and Madrid was really sloppy defensively. I mean, I have no idea where Nacho was this entire game. It was really disappointing game on his end, as he really just was not his usual steady self. And you could see it. I mean, Varane really had to pick up much of the slack for the two players defensively. And even like Carvajal and Reguilon weren't their best, as they have been, you know. They've been pretty solid, but today it just wasn't it. They were constantly being bombarded on the flanks by Morales and the other guy. I can't remember his name off the top of my head right now, but not the best game for them. So we had that. After that goal, we had the first uses of our subs. We had Fede Valverde for Toni Kroos. It was a really strange one. I didn't really think he was going to put in Valverde over Kroos, but I mean, I guess this time he was thinking more about midweek, and I was thinking, well, I don't want to risk Dani Ceballos, so let's put in Fede Valverde and see what he got. And I think he was really going just like, all right, we'll go for the tie. Solari was going for the tie, and just like, whatever comes. So we had that. Interesting, but let's see what happens. And then 71st minute, we had another save from the Levante goalkeeper, Aitor Gonzalez, I think his name again, on Vinicius. You know, great shot, great save. Move forward. And then a couple of minutes later, we had the sub for Bale coming on for Benzema. Again, this was a pretty good sub, and Bale, as of late, has been the super sub for Madrid, and I think it's a great role for him. I know he doesn't like it personally. He despises it at all times. I mean, Bale doesn't really see himself as a super sub. He sees himself as a starter, game in and game out. But this season, Bale hasn't really. I haven't seen Bale. How do I see this? I don't know. I think it's not formulating in my head correctly. But I haven't seen Bale do that week in and week out. He's injured too often, and even when he does get the opportunities to start and prove himself, he doesn't do it consistently. Vinicius, on the other hand, has showed no fear, no anything, and it's just gone for it. And Lucas Vazquez is just reliable. He's not going to be your 10, your 20 goal a season man, but he will do the dirty work, and he will provide the support for up front and in the back. So I can understand why Solari wants him. Solari wants dogs out there. He doesn't want fancy poodles, as it's called, Bale, to just kind of show up game in, maybe game, maybe not, you know, and have others do the work. Solari wants everybody to do the work. All right, enough about that rant I just did. So here comes on Bale. A minute later, here comes the controversial Casemiro call. So I'm just going to give you my opinion. I didn't think it was a penalty. I thought Casemiro faked it. But he faked it well enough for the referee on the field to call a PK. And again, if a call is going to be overturned by VAR, it has to be clear and without any doubt that initial call on the field was incorrect. And there was too much judgment, in my opinion, for that call to be overturned. So the ref couldn't say, well, overturn this PK. And as a result, the PK was awarded. After 3 minutes of scuffle, Bale scored it in. Nice, easy penalty. What resulted after that, though, was not easy, and the whole shove away from Vazquez was just disrespectful and just not needed. I mean, I understand Bale; he wants to start every game, and he was displeased that he didn't start this game, and but you don't do that to your teammate, and you especially don't do that if you're playing for Real Madrid, as if you're just like, come on, get off of me. Like, what the heck? I know there's been hype, not really hype, but there's been kind of some drama surrounding the Madrid team. And there's been drama ever since Bale arrived, and whether he fits with his team or not. And every season, it doesn't seem like Bale fits in with his team.
I'm not going to say he's a bad player because he steps up in the right times at all the times, but just he never has fit into this team, and just, he's kind of a really, really spoiled diva. I mean, as he should be. I mean, he's a big player, but I don't know. He divides a lot of people. And with Ancelotti's comments over the weekend, how the Madrid job was basically lost because of Bale's selfishness on the play, and how there was a spat with Florentino over Bale's playing time. But nevertheless, instances like this don't make Bale a Madrid favorite. It only heightens the animosity between him and the Madridista. So, all right, let's get over this. So after that, Levante continued to attack, and they got pretty close a couple times, but nothing really major happened afterwards. It wasn't until Nacho's red card, another dumb decision where he was clearly beaten, and he had to foul them. Caused the veteran Spaniard defender, the solid one too, to get sent off, and he's going to lose. What did I think? 2 games or a game, and he won't play one of the games against Barcelona next week. So we lost him, a good solid backup defender. So if Varane or Ramos gets injured or suspended, Madrid is kind of out of luck. They'll have to go to one of their younger center backs on the system. But and then a 2-1, good game. Actually, not a good game. We'll get into that now. So overall, my impression of the game was Madrid didn't deserve those 3 points. I mean, a win is a win, 3 points is 3 points, but they did not. It was a struggle for them to win this game. Levante were clearly the better team most of the game, even though Madrid had possession and had more quality shots on goal. I didn't believe that this Madrid team had the will to win. They were just lacking that urgency to win, that fortitude to we're gonna win this game. I think they had their minds on midweek against Barcelona. It was clearly shown on the pitch, as a lot of the players, except for Vinicius and Benzema, in my opinion, really didn't show a lot of that dog in them to go for this victory. They were very sluggish, a very uncalibrated Madrid, a very, very sloppy defense as they let Levante go at them multiple times. But nonetheless, 3 points is 3 points. But I mean, really, a lot of the performances, I think since Ajax or the week game before, have been uninspiring. They've been very un-Madrid-like, and really not un-Madrid-like, but the better word is very uncalibrated, as they have been very shaky in positions here and there. And that is cause for concern as they head to play against Barcelona, the league leaders, again in the Copa del Rey and the league. And this is very important. This is a very important mark in the season, as Madrid could be knocked out of the 2 competitions in 1 week against their bitter rivals. So we'll see how that goes. But again, 3 points is 3 points as we inch closer to Barcelona, and hopefully the remontada continues. All right, let's continue this post-game reaction podcast. Talk about some of the players who did excellent or did all right, my terms, and some players who kind of should forget about this game. All right, let's get started with some of the players who I think should just completely forget about this game. Let's talk about Nacho. I feel like Nacho should just completely pretend and ignore this game like this game never happened. He was very off in today's game. I'm not really entirely sure what was going on with Nacho today's game. He's usually a very solid defender, but as of late, he's been very iffy. And in today's game, he was clearly outpaced and outnumbered, and just outplayed by most of the Levante strikers, as Rafael Varane really had to pick up most of the slack today in the defensively. Another person, or I guess really another group of players who can forget about today's game, is the midfield. I really didn't think Casemiro, Modric, or Kroos had much of a game. I know they had a couple of shots here and there, and they were all, Casemiro and Modric were all very instrumental in getting the VAR penalties called. But I mean, they didn't really provide much after that. So hopefully they can forget about this game, and maybe they were looking forward to a midweek clash against Barcelona. All right, now let's transition to some players who I thought had a hell of a game in today's match. We can start again with Benzema. Again, a very he has become, what is it? I don't know the word, but I read an article recently in Athletic talking and praising about Benzema, and I believe I'm definitely late on the Benzema train, as he's been wonderful to watch this season with his movement, his passing, and it's just everything's there, and he continued to show that in this game, as him and Vinicius, who we'll get into shortly, linked up perfectly well, and Vinicius being Benzema's muse has been very fun to watch as of late. So I mentioned Vinicius. Let's talk about him. He was the driving force in the second half and much of the first half, offensively for Madrid. I mean, he kept Levante honest and didn't just constantly press Madrid, but he kept them honest. He constantly ran at them. I think he had 6 take-ons and he successfully had 4 of them work. Did I say that right? I'm not sure if I said that right. But he had 4 out of 6 take-ons work, so that's a pretty good percentage. And he had, I think, maybe 3 or 4 shots that nearly missed the goal. We can pinpoint to that one in the 38th minute where he just kind of fumbled it at the end, Seahawks style. But, I mean, he was very electric again, and I'm very excited to see what he'll offer next season. And I'm really excited what he's going to offer in this second leg of the Copa del Rey. In his first El Clásico, he didn't really have much of a stellar performance, and he kind of let a lot of the Madridistas down. But I mean, I think he's going to live up to his standards in the second leg and hopefully in the Liga El Clásico coming this Saturday. But we'll see how that goes. Another player who I thought performed pretty well was Rafael Varane, who's came back to the starting lineup from his suspension. I thought he performed well. He definitely picked up Nacho's slack and was just excellent and solid. He was really the only solid defender we had this game. And going forward, I think he's going to be that rock in the back with Ramos that, is going to be producing those 0-0s, or he's going to be producing those clean sheets for Courtois as of late. All right, and that's the end of this post-game reaction podcast, mini-pod against Levante. This week coming up, we're probably going to have some more content. Definitely going to try to have a mini-pod in the second leg of El Copa del Rey against Barcelona. So look forward to that. You know where to catch us. We're on iTunes, Podbean, Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube, Google Play Music, and sometimes SoundCloud if I'm filling up to upload it. And you can find us on Twitter and Instagram on Tres Ways One Goal. And all right, see you later. A la Madrid.